Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I am here with a new account, getting through Tier 4 and going to take down Viktor. You saw in my Tier 3 video that I decided to go ahead and buy a Nissan GTR Premium from the dealership, knowing full well that eventually this car will need to be stripped. The reason I bought this car versus any of the other options is because without any fusions at stage 5 only, and I'm still missing a stage here, it will dyno fast enough and run fast enough to beat Viktor in the paints race. So for Tier 4, this is one of the top choices if you had to buy a car, because it'll do the job without having to be upgraded with any fusions. And that's important because if you try to strip a car later that has fusions installed, you have to spend gold. And we don't want to waste the gold. So here, I have the tune set up like this. This is basically a max Evo tune. I just try to get that number as high as possible. The dyno says 13807. Hitting dyno with this car is a little bit difficult. This is why you don't want to have this car just dynoing 14 and trying to take on Viktor. And also, as we've discussed on every tier, you want to finish the ladder races. Make sure that the car's ready. And the ladder races are challenging, but not impossible, meaning that your car is running faster than what Viktor's going to run in the paints race. So the main thing about launching this car is you got to get into and out of second and nitrous by third, and try not to shift too early or too late. That's the key. It's very fast. It's especially the first 3 shifts. You know, you kind of going bang, 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 but at the same time, if you shift too quick, your nitrous won't kick in third gear. You end up using it in fourth, and the car's substantially slower. So you don't want to do that. As you can see, I'm not hitting dyno. I'm running a little bit slower than dyno, but it is running 13s consistently, which is what you need in order to beat Viktor. So again, finishing the ladder means I'm guaranteed I can take him for his car. So I'm going to finish the ladder, get that money, and then I'm going to move to taking on Viktor for his actual Jaguar car that I want to win from him. So again, not too early, not too late on these shifts, and nitrous as early as you can, either second or third. When you're still building the car, you basically skip second because the final drive is so aggressive that you won't have time to play with second gear. So you basically launch second right away, and then third is when you hit nitrous, and you can go from there. So the final car in the ladder race ran a 14.154. So for us, that means Viktor shouldn't run any quicker than that for his time. And that would put him somewhere in the 14.1s. So now that we beat the ladder, I can now confidently start taking Viktor on for his car. And oh yeah, I get to watch these little ads because I haven't bought anything yet. Okay. All right. So here. All right. So these 3 races will give you plenty of money towards the next tier. That's the whole idea here is by the time you're done with this, you'll have about $1 million here, and you can buy a tier 5 car. I'm not going to need to buy a tier 5 car, although I do have to wait a week in order to get that car because I'm doing the 500,000 personal RP to get the Shark Huracan. And I would have always recommended the regular Huracan as your choice of tier 5 car anyway. Now I can save myself having to buy a dealership car altogether and building it and go right to a Purple Star 5-star of the equivalent car and then be able to use that. So I'm pretty happy about that. A little bit of waiting is not a problem. It just means that I'll have to save some money up. So once I get the Shark Huracan, I can build it very quickly and then get through shacks. In the meantime, though, I'm going to have to earn more than 1 or 2 million as well because I'm going to have to buy some regular ones and strip them for fusions. Okay, notice 13.817 against the 16.1. Race number 1 done. He's going to get faster, of course. By the final race, he's actually going to run a 14.1 something, but my 13.8s will guarantee that I get his car. Again, don't rush these things. If you rush towards trying to beat any of the bosses for their pinks race and you're not ready, not only do you lose the gold, you also lose the car, and you do not get a chance to go back to do it again. So you don't want to rush these. Don't even do the last 2 races, or well, definitely not the last one, but don't even do the last 2 races until your car's ready. All it gives you some gold and some money. You can earn the money elsewhere. The gold will come. As you can see, I'm already over 1,000 gold because I signed up for VIP and got 500 gold for that. Okay, let's go. And I've been spending gold on gas to get that 500,000 personal RP. So it's not hard to gather some gold. Now, I was a little late on the second gear there, but it wouldn't hurt me here. This is not a pinks race. But again, you need to practice enough with this car. This car has really quick initial shift. That first gear, if you can't get out of it on time, can really hurt your time, and that could cost you the race. So you don't want to screw that up too bad. And that's again why you want to definitely get full stage 5 upgrades, unless you're pretty confident and pretty used to driving a Nissan GTR like this, in which case you can get away with missing one intake or turbo stage 5. It doesn't really make that much of a difference overall in the time. So even without the turbo and intake stage 5, I was looking at getting pretty close to 13.9, 13.8, even just like that. So now the final race and then the pinks race, one after the other. Let's do this one first, get that money and gold, and then we'll take Viktor down for his car. The engineers at Shax Industries have upgraded this car to be completely unbeatable. No more messing around. All right, man. You already lost 2 races, so keep talking. Now, always know that this race is always going to be slower by a few tenths than the final race. So you cannot really judge using this particular race that your car is ready or not. Plus, you don't really get a chance to do anything else anyway. You got to go right into the pinks race afterwards. So you're stuck one way or the other. You're going to have to just be ready, or you're just going to get rolled over on the pinks race. All right. Notice he only ran a 15. That means for the next race, he's going to run almost a second quicker. Okay. Notice that each tier, the jump seems to be getting bigger, right? Tier 3, it was like a half a second jump. Tier 2 was only like a quarter second jump. So, I mean, yeah, and so tier 4 now, you're talking about a full second jump. And tier 5, I don't know. I have to look at it. But it looks like the need for patience and building your car right becomes more and more important as you go up to the higher tiers, because the bosses are actually going to be tougher and tougher. And the same kind of applies for Tempest. You know, Tempest 1's not too bad, 2 and then 3 gets harder and harder. So don't rush, build your car, make sure that you do the research and know what the final time is supposed to be. But if all else fails, as long as you can beat the ladder, you know you can beat Viktor. And same goes for Shax. Okay, let's see. So Shax is coming out of the woodworks and starting to talk some smack. But, oh, well, actually, he wants to have you work for him. But you're not going to work for him because he's an a-hole. All right, now, let's see. Larry Brunel, somebody else you're going to be racing eventually. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take down Viktor's Project 7, the slowest of Tier 5 cars you can get. So again, not really worth building. It's not to say the car is absolutely unusable. I've seen people use it, and they've used it successfully in Tier 5 for some slower brackets. But again, I wouldn't necessarily waste too much effort on building this car. There are going to be much more better choices out there if you're part of a milestone crew. All right, race without super nitrous. I never bothered with super nitrous. I did once as a rookie, but never again. Okay, here we go. Let's take his car. I got him. All right, so I did not screw up my drive this time like I did with Kurt's. So I'm definitely way ahead, and I'm going to stay ahead. And I got his car, no headaches. Okay, no stress either. I'm not jittery this time, so I got this shift down. Still didn't hit dyno, could do better, but still, as I said, we did 14.154, I think, for the final ladder race. Viktor Kid runs a 14.179, just a little bit slower. Just enough so you know that you beat the ladder, you got Viktor. And let's collect his car. defeated. Yeah, Shax won't like this one bit. He's going to fire you. That's what he's going to do. Well, maybe he won't, but all right. So Project 7, gorgeous car. I really like the way it looks. It's a very cool looking car. The unfortunate part is that it is, in fact, the slowest and not the most useful of Tier 5 cars. So Jerry's very happy. We got his car back, fully tuned Viktor Project 7. Garages never look better. It's going to look even better if you keep playing. But now, once again, Tier 5 exclusive offer, do not buy, because this car is probably the second, if not the third slowest of Tier 5 cars, and it won't come with stars. A waste of your $9.99. There are going to be offers that you may want to buy. There are offers that come in for $3.99 with 35 gold keys. That's a worthy buy. Later on, there might be a $9.99 offer with 35 gold keys and some gold and some money. That might be a worthy buy. And there are certain ones where there's like 300 silver keys for $4.99, $5.99. That is a worthy buy. So I usually end up buying one of them, mainly just to get rid of the ad that pops up every time you come in and out of an event. So if you're going to buy, pick one of the $3.99 decent deals, buy that, and then kind of just hope that the 35 gold keys actually give you something other than a 3-star Tier 3 or Tier 4 car. All right, so we took down Viktor's Project 7, and that means the next step is now open. Shax, Tier 5, and I'm going to have to add gas. I'll watch videos later. So Shax, you need a Tier 5 car, and you do have $1 million here, which means you could go buy a Tier 5 car at this point. As I've said, I'm not going to buy one because I don't want to, and all I'm going to end up doing is, in the long run, building a car that has less potential, putting a lot of money into it, and fusions, and then I don't want to strip it because it's going to cost me something like 5,000 gold to strip the car, and I don't want to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to wait. If you're already doing the 500,000 personal RP this season, as I'm doing, you should be fine to actually get a Tier 5 Huracan, which is the best option because any Huracan Lamborghini can be fully maxed by buying and stripping a dealership Lamborghini Huracan. So you're all set in essence for Tier 5, and really don't need to stress about getting through Shax at this point. Plus, now that I'm at Tier 5, my live racing and other things, everything will be at full value, meaning when you go do map races, you get the full amount of money of 12,000 instead of a lesser amount as you're going through the tiers. So everything's looking good, and this is really, in my opinion, the end of the tutorial stage of the game. Because really playing through bosses 1 through 4, it's still kind of trying to teach you something. It's trying to teach you how to get your cars up to the point where you're going to be able to beat the boss. It's giving you multi-layered challenges, and it's still giving you kind of a newbie's guide to beating the boss, which is the ladder races. Once you finish Tier 5, you're on your own when it comes to gauging the opponent. Tempest does not have a ladder race in a similar format to give you a gauge for beating the boss. You're stuck on your own. So understand that getting through Tier 5 and winning Shax's car is the same thing you're going to end up doing long term in the game, period. This is going to be the strategy you're going to have to always use to beat all challenges down the line. And that means you're now really going to have to build cars. Remember, we got through Tier 4 with a dealership bought car with no fusions. That is not going to happen with Tier 5. Tier 5, not only do you have to build the car to at least Stage 5, you're going to need fusions to get through Shax. It's not going to be as simple as Stage 4 where you just kind of pull a car out of the dealership, build it to Stage 5, and tune it a little bit, and off you go. Now, that being said, I don't think either the Vanquish or the GTR can do that. The Dodge Viper GTR and the Vanquish cannot beat Viktor without some fusions. So this would have been the car that I would have bought had I been forced to buy a car. mainly because you can, in fact, max this car out utilizing additional purchases of the same car and stripping it. But mind you, each time it costs you $1 million, and each strip is going to cost you 100,000, so it's 1.1 million per each car you strip. The other alternative car that you could go with, which I do recommend, is the Ferrari F12. That is the other Tier 5 that is pretty good. Personally, I would not necessarily buy the McLaren 570S, not because it's a bad car, but just comparatively that it's slower than both the Huracan and the F12. So you want to go with a car that's slightly faster. The F12 is here somewhere. I know I always scroll the wrong direction for some reason, and I end up taking forever to find the car when I could have just went right twice and gotten it. So this one will cost you 1.15 per each car to buy and strip, but the F12 is also decent. The difference between the Huracan and the F12 is that the Huracan can be easier to tune for sprints and speed traps, and the F12 is better at essentially not better, but easier in the beginning to beat dyno and do some other things, and it does advance pretty well as far as performance when you upgrade it. Both cars are good, so I would go with either one. However, as I said earlier, I am not going to need to buy any of them except to strip later. So right now, I am going to just play the next few days until April 29th and get the Purple Star Huracan, and then I'm going to buy a regular Huracan now and strip it, and then just keep earning money and buying and stripping until I can beat Shaxx. So it's going to be a lot of grinding to finish Tier 5, mostly because each upgrade is so expensive. To fully upgrade a Tier 5 car, just the stages will cost you over 2 million, if not 3 million. And then you probably 4 million actually, because you then to add the fusions will push you almost to 6 million. So it's a lot of money to spend, to earn and spend to get one Tier 5 car to Stage 5, Stage 6 fully fusion. And then the amount of Huracans I'm going to need to strip can be anywhere between 15 to 30 for me to get all the Stage 6s and close to fully fusion. So that's what's coming, and that's kind of the long road ahead when it comes to grinding this game and building garages and building cars. But it's the same strategy that you're going to have to use all the way through anyway. All right, so enough rambling. I hope the Nissan GTR concept will help you out. If you're starting the game, definitely consider buying the GTR and utilizing that to get Viktor's car, so you don't have to waste fusions on a dealership bought car. If you like the video, please leave a like. Any questions, feel free to make them in the comments. You can always reach out to me directly either on my channel or on Facebook. I am Max Jin on Facebook, and my profile picture is a panda. So you can always try to reach out to me there as well with questions. If you like my videos and you want to get notifications, then please subscribe to the channel so the notifications will come to you when I put up a new video. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.